So we're reacting to some more back tattoos, and as I've said many times, back tattoos are probably my favorite location for a tattoo, even though you don't really see them very often. I think it's the one place on your body where there's almost nothing in the way. Like on the front, you've got your belly button, you've got nipples, your chest has a dip sometimes, or
girls have boobs,
different bends and stuff, and then you have your arms kind of shadowing your armpits and stuff like that. The back is just like one big straight canvas. It's the best place to put your big feature piece.
Yeah, I think so too. So this one is from Jesse. It says, "Hello all, y'all rock. Here's my back, done over 6 months." Oh, this is a really cool, traddy.
Well, this is really nice.
Really great colors.
Yeah, it's just got a bit of a glare on the screen here. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I like this a lot. I think it's cool. You can see the gorilla's arm in there, right? It took me a minute to find it. I don't know if there's more that could be done to raise awareness to the arm. But just for some reason, it took me a minute to find the arm. We're gonna do that thing again where like I always say that in a good tattoo, there's more to say than there is in a bad tattoo.
You're gonna critique it more.
Yeah, there's more to talk about, right? The different choices you could make. I think personally, as much as I love this thing, and I would be happy to have this myself because I like trad.
Yeah,
and,
this is really nice.
You very rarely will see trad done in a nice huge piece. I love the top and the bottom, the way that it's framed. I love that.
It's like a circus.
Is it a circus?
Yeah, it's like a circus.
It looks almost like a tartan, the cloth.
I think it's meant to be circus because this is kind of like a sideshow, right? Like the gorilla versus the leopard.
I love all of this. I think what my only real problem with it is probably that I think there's maybe too much leaf, and I would probably just have the leaves tighter to the edges, and have the gorilla and the cat, the cheetah, jaguar. I would have them be more focal.
Yeah, I would have done them a little bit bigger and less leaf, but that's just me.
The leaf is the focus of it, and because of how it's shaded, the leaves are in the foreground, they are, they're the front of this, right? The gorilla or the ape or whatever, and the jaguar they're inside the frame, and so these leaves are in front of the frame, and that's done intentionally. But because they're also bigger than the animals inside, they're kind of stealing focus off of them.
Right.
And though I love the way that the gorilla is shaded, I actually think maybe just a little more light in places would have helped him show a little bit. But I really, really love that dark knit shading in there. And I love super heavy trad too.
I don't think it's too heavy for me, but I see what you're saying.
It's he just gets a little bit too he's almost too patterned.
Yeah.
I think.
It's just
too much rendering.
Too many fur.
Too much texture. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that. It just looks very busy. He looks very striped.
Super shiny.
But fucking awesome.
The color palette, and this is amazing. I love that olivey green and
the red was a good choice because it's the only thing that in this that really is
not really a neutral tone compared to the rest.
And because of that, it brings a lot of focus to what's inside of this.
Yeah.
Without the red, say they had done another coat of orange or more of a green or even a blue, anything cooler, it would have probably been more muted overall. And the color palette they went with other than the red is fairly muted. So it would have been harder to see. So I think the color play is great. I also like that they kept the different colors of red here, right? It does distinguishes enough the different tones in here, the mouths and the little spot in the ear and the nose, and the little roses are different from that banner, whatever it is. Again, it keeps everything apart very nicely. Also, the nice soft shading off of the gorilla and the cat.
Yeah,
is really cool.
Differentiating it from the background.
It just has them
being too flat.
Yeah, it just has them standing out from the background. I would be curious to see, I think that you could probably do I would maybe, if you were gonna do anything, maybe a light blue behind these guys. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially because it's a full color composition.
I was actually thinking that too at one point, but
I don't think that, well, and it would really push them forward, right? Because the frame is in red, and then to have the very furthest point into this to be a cool blue,
yeah,
it would push everything else off of it.
yeah, maybe.
Well, I just think that whenever you have full color like this, having negative space involved in all, it always looks strange to me. Like, you can use it as like the highlight, like they did in his forehead here and around his mouth and stuff like this. But I think that the negative space kind of holds it back a little bit, personally. But then again, I don't like negative space. This guy seems to prefer full color too, so I would personally do that. But I'm just nitpicking. This is one of the better back pieces. Like, actually, we've been sent a lot of good back pieces.
We get lots of good back
In terms of quality, you don't see too many bad back pieces.
No.
Like, because most people who don't want anything good on their back, they just don't bother with their back. It's very rare that you see a full back piece that looks terrible. Like, usually you'll see like a half done back piece and it looks awful. And it's like, well, I can see why they abandoned that. But usually the good ones, they will eventually get finished. Although it can be the course of years. I know some people who have been working on their backs bit by bit forever. So the fact that you did this in 6 months, that's the way you should do a back piece.
Right.
You have to get after it. It's not pleasant. There's some spots that suck, but it's really best if you just keep hammering away on it. So anyway, really cool. It's gonna be hard to top that.
Right. Next one says, this one's from Avery. It says, "Hey Remy, my tattoo artist uses a lot of filters on his social media and never shares healed photos. I don't think he needs to hide how his tattoos look. Here's a
most of the
screenshot-
world.
Well, this is the tattoo industry. Here's a screenshot of what he shared on Instagram versus the picture I took 2 months later. The algorithm doesn't like healed photos, guys.
Yeah,
That's not necessarily our fault.
It's partly that,
It's
but
kinda your fault.
that's a bigger problem than just that, though. And also, like, just while we were on that, I had some Neanderthal wander into my social media recently and was like, post a healed photo. It's like, I am literally everywhere healed. I'm like probably the most public tattooed person that's ever lived. That if you can't find a healed photo of me, you're not looking very hard, Garbles.
Garbles.
Like, how do you belch those words out? Like, is your brain so fried you can't even?
I just think that's just people's automatic reaction to tattoos because we're
No.
so used to-
It's the automatic reaction to anything done over blackout, right? Because he's seen something fresh, so he goes, "Oh, that won't last."
Well,
Meanwhile, in that very picture, there's like 18,000 other tattoos over black healed.
chest and the neck that I'm staring at right now, both healed for a few months at least.
Long time, Sarah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've worked on the neck's almost a year now.
Oh, jeez. It
But
feels like
the
it's so
sleeve
much
too.
less sometimes.
It's a year, and these are over 3 years.
I know. Those are like the perfect example of how
They
good
haven't
white on black
changed.
works. I know.
Well, if you do it right? But like, if you do it right, it doesn't change, and like, it'll only change if I change it. And that doesn't mean it was a touch-up or or it was fading, so I fixed it.
No, it means that Remy got bored and decided to put red in them, which I've been waiting for a
Oh,
while.
I'm on the fence about doing it. Trust me, I might be doing it
Yeah,
soon.
I know. I know you.
So, but anyway,
Let's talk. This is a really nice tattoo.
yeah, it looks better healed, and
but-
I'm not surprised.
They knew how it was going to look healed. The artist knew it was going to heal like this. They're a good enough artist that they knew it would heal out like this.
So the reason why these things don't trend, because you said that earlier, is because like what's happened is somebody started doing this and then people liked that, right? People liked the polarized lens.
Yeah.
They liked the high contrast thing.
flashy.
And then when they seen the normal one, it was like, oh, well, that one's not as impressive as the other
It's
one.
almost like next to impossible to get someone to come back and show you their work.
But also, then it went from that to going, okay, well, that guy got more likes doing it that way, so I'm going to do it that way too. And now they don't even actually get more likes for doing that. People just do it because everyone else does it. Because at one point, it was something, like if you showed this, that's out of this world. It's amazing. Look at the tones in there. But now we're so sick of seeing that shit. Like, people are so fucking tired of it that it's like, oh yeah, another one of these.
Yeah,
You know?
I just find that I rarely have the opportunity to take a healed shot. Like I have one from this week that I'm going to post.
Oh no, this guy wouldn't want the healed
but it's
shot.
rarely.
He could have got the healed shot.
Yeah, okay.
It's like if anything, he'll put like a healed highlight on his page. That's what most artists do. They don't want it in their
in their feed.
They don't want it in their feed because like it looks like they're not as good as the guy who's posting nothing but these.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a thing where
Sad.
it's everybody agreed at some point silently that we do this. Like this is not what a tattoo looks like, but we all do it. Right? That's what happened. It was like a silent agreement among tattooers that this is the tattoo that we do, right? And so that if this guy here posts this one, it's like, well, that doesn't look as good as what Tattoo Bob's doing down the road, right?
Oh, but it's so nice.
Why
nice
would
and
I?
Soft.
But like, why would I want this when I could have the other one? So it's not just that they don't trend. It's like it feels bad for business too, right? Like even if it's not, like it's like a weird subconscious thing. There's a whole lot of bullshit going on there that's been enforced by years of this shit. When in reality, this looks way better than the other one, right? But people want these like flashy, crazy things that don't exist in reality.
Right.
And they want it in one session too. So like if you were to tell them, oh, this was 5 or 6 sessions, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, well, why can't I get that once? One and done, right? Now let's talk about the tattoo itself. It's a little phallic, right? Like I'm seeing penises all over the place.
I love it.
Although, like, it's hard to do mushroom heads without making them look like penises.
Yes, it is. They're one of those things.
It's just, if you have mushrooms in the tattoo, you're going to have that problem. Like, immediately you have that problem. Like, you did that mushroom on Buddy's arm, and you were like, does it look phallic? It's like, well, yeah, it does. It's like 3 big three big dicks. Right?
I guess.
Like, but
I
that's
mean,
what mushroom,
but
like,
yes.
like, if you have big, long mushroom, yeah, you're in trouble.
I really like this though. It's got like such a surreal vibe to it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close to great. Like they were on subject matter. I think this is really impressive.
I would happily wear this.
Like this is really nice composition, and the contrast of it is almost great.
Yeah, I'm not having trouble picking apart anything
It's just,
but the butterflies. That's the only thing that I'm having trouble with.
I think all of this leafy stuff behind the mushrooms is all too light.
Oh. Okay.
Some of the inside of the mushrooms is quite light as well. It looks a bit like, and I don't mean to be rude, but this is like almost swinging too far, right? Like it's like you have a 7 out of 10 artist attempting a 9, right? And they got close because like all of the technical is a little bit off, right? Like it's really cool artistically, but then when you get into it, it's really kind of lacking in some areas. So like, if I'm going to be able to close up, it all just looks a little bit rough.
Yeah, not quite as smooth as you'd want it to be. It's such a big, and they use some opaques in there too.
Yeah,
That's
the
kind of
opaques
fun to
are cool.
see. Yeah.
But there's just so much going on in here too. It'd be hard to deliver this in a way that would be, more, I don't know, clear. So I think probably fewer mushrooms might have been better. It's maybe too much information. Whatever the script is at the bottom is cool.
Yeah, I love that.
It's certainly not bad, but this one isn't.
How to do that?
Even though this one might be more akin to someone's taste who's watching this, this is not the masterclass that the first one was.
Right. No, this
let's
is
be
gorgeous
clear.
though. But it's the other one was executed like
Yeah,
flawlessly.
that was a bulletproof trad tattoo. This is pretty close to great, but not
It just needs
quite.
a little smoother, and the butterflies are getting lost. To me, that's the only other than like a smoother shading here and there, the butterflies are a big loss for me just because they disappear.
So, and then finally we have Scott Norman here with something a little different.
It says, Remy, love your body suits, great vision, colors, and blackout knowledge. Been watching your progress for quite a while now. I'm on the path for Guinness Book of World Records most skull tattoo male. And then he goes on to say, record is currently 376 held by Chuck. I'm not even going to try. RIP, have 437 unofficially. I have applied for the record, but I'm awaiting confirmation. Full back, arms, chest, our butt cheek, our leg. Thanks, Scott.
So
let's
here,
have a look.
I can't help but not mention that, like, this is insane to me, like, that we have records like this, and then we have boneheads at Guinness saying they can't verify whether my multiple bodysuits are all me.
Yeah.
Like, are we really going to have that? It's insane.
It's so tricky, and
It's not tricky at all. The woman that answered my email was a fucking moron.
yeah,
It's not tricky.
I
You have eyes?
like, sir, like, I hope you update us on your progress with Guinness, because we have found them difficult.
I find them preposterous
Yeah.
and stupid, and I no longer take them seriously.
Yeah,
when I see a thing like this, like, no offense to this guy, this has nothing to do with him, but this is a record, and we can't have a record for most layers
they
or
haven't
hours.
given him the record yet.
Oh no, there's a guy who already has the record for most.
Yeah, but the guy who has the other record that you're trying to beat, it's the same.
No, it's not, because it's different. Like, even if you're more percent, like, because I haven't tattooed my full face and my full palms, like, I've shattered his hours and layers a million years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it's not close, and anyone who's paid any amount of attention or who can do a basic fucking Google search could tell you that. And so when you see records like this, it's kind of silly.
It is.
Right? It's like, you can't have a record for the most tattooed human for hours and layers, but you can have the most skulls tattooed on it. Like, who the fuck decides these records?
I don't know.
Like, they told me they weren't considering adding a new record for that. So it's like they're almost saying that no one can ever surpass
That guy.
Lucky Diamond Rich.
Lucky Diamond Rich.
Because he just barely made it through a soul blackout.
I wonder if he'll run into the same problem.
No, because it's easier for them to quantify.
Oh yeah, because
Right.
they can go and count all the little skulls.
So, like, theoretically, like, if I had, say, the same amount of work I have on me, but I had all tongues,
Yeah.
right? There's just, you could count so many tongues. I could be in the book for the most tongues. And then idiots online who have no idea what any of this is would suddenly be like, oh, that guy's in the record book. He's legit. Because a lot of people do see it that way. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, that guy's in the record book. It's like, it's just preposterous, right?
I agree.
Like, do I get in there for having the most suction cups on me? Could I get in there for
probably
having
do.
the most tentacles on me? For having the
Eyeballs.
most teeth? Eyeballs? These are all bullshit records.
Yeah.
Like, it's all fucking stupid.
And we're not trying to belittle what
No.
you got going on, though. It's amazing. Good work.
I think this is
I
a
don't know how
case
you've kept track of the amount of skulls.
this is going to be a case of, like, it's going to sound weird coming from me to say quality over quantity, but, like, I would get some nice skulls too, right? Some of these are not the best, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know,
let's
it's
be,
fun.
like, if we're still adding more of them, I don't know how they're still looking old.
He
like-
looks like he tans a little bit.
Yeah, well, but, like, what I'm saying is, like, there's a certain thing that's happening here where it's like you're getting tattooed and everything's looking like it's like from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that happens.
I don't know either.
Like,
Very
'cause
soft.
the ink has changed, the needles have changed, right? But, like, if this is all new, like, see, my immediate reaction would be to assume that this was done in the early 90s.
Yes.
And then it would be awesome, right? Like, and some of this may have been. But, like, if you're still getting more of them, it's hard to understand.
Some people just see a lot more sunshine than we do, though.
That doesn't look overly tanned. Like, he looks, you know, he's
Yeah.
not like he's a lobster.
I don't know.
We get people in here all the time that are like fucking Donald Trump.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, like, we get them in all the time. And it's like, holy fuck, dude.
It's definitely depressing. Your
Yeah.
tattoos do look a little and it could be like partially the lighting here, but I think it's more that they're just like so soft. Like they're just so softly done. Your
Well,
black
some of them are
isn't, like,
blorbing into each other.
fully saturated blacks and
But, like,
But maybe
I
this is
like
the
this.
aesthetic
I
they
like the
like.
idea and I appreciate the hustle. It's just, I'm struggling to understand how you get a tattoo a week ago and it looks 35 years old.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a straight, and I see that all the time.
It happens quite often.
It happens all the time. We have shops in this city where it's like, you go in through the door and it's like you just went through a fucking time travel or something. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, everyone has mullets and that guy might kill me, right?
It's true.
Like, it's just like, holy shit, it's 1992 again. Nothing has changed. It's just, it's a weird thing. And some of these are quite funny. Like, I got to give credit to that one
Oh,
there.
wow, that one's real special.
That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah,
I could have called him Joe.
You gotta zoom in on that
You know,
for the video.
I kind of like, even though I'm being hard on this, I kind of like this look more than a lot of what the tattoo world is doing these days.
Oh, yeah.
Like the really polished, like perfectly presented, like black and gray masterpiece things where everything is like Pinterested out. Those things I don't like as much as I like this.
Right.
I would rather have this 9 times out of 10. Like, I would be much prouder to have this. And actually, I think it is a cool record compared to some of the records I've read. I've heard of some fucking stupid records.
Right.
To have the most skulls tattooed on you is kind of a badass statement.
Right. And skulls are just, they're so fun. Like, I even have a couple skulls on me.
So, despite my anger towards Guinness, I still think it's kind of a cool pursuit. It's just, I don't take that book seriously anymore. And based on the response I got, I don't think there's any good reason to see it as anything valid at all
Not
anymore.
anymore.
Like,
It's real
after
sad.
that, it took them 2 years to get back to me too.
Yeah.
And then when their response was absolutely embarrassing.
It's like, it felt
It's like anyone with eyes can tell it's the same fucking human, you moron.
and it felt like a huge cash grab.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like, you cannot, like, the woman who judged that and responded to me might be one of the dumbest people to ever live.
Yeah.
Like, you might be one of the dumbest humans to ever live. To be able to say, oh, Remy, when I Google your name and I see all those different people, I can't really confirm that. And by the way, I sent them all kinds of my own pictures and articles featuring me and declaring me the most tattooed person.
Yeah.
I have testimonials from artists that have worked on
Well,
me.
and you have photos. You have photo documentation
It's
from the
all
beginning.
documented, and for the last 6 years, I've been making a YouTube video twice a week. And when I started YouTube, I was already working on the second layer,
Yep.
third, fourth layer, whatever the fuck it was. My first layer had multiple layers.
Yeah.
And I was already into that club. And it's been 6 years since then. It's all out in the open. It's just one of the dumbest things I've ever read.
Right.
So that woman should probably not be working there or judging world records. But anyway, some cool back pieces.